Hi everyone, my name is Emily Teacher, and today we're reading Communicating with KoKo. American Sign Language, ASL, is a form of communication that is as rich and flexible as spoken English. It is used by hundreds of thousands of hearing impaired people. Each gesture of the hand or arm has a particular meaning. In the early 1970s, a most unusual student began learning to communicate through ASL. Her name was KoKo, and her teacher was Dr. Francine Patterson. So let's learn about this unusual or different student who learned to talk through ASL, KoKo. KoKo, a gorilla, was born in the San Francisco Zoo. While still a baby, she became ill and had to be separated from the other gorillas. She lived in a specially equipped trailer where Dr. Patterson took care of her. Dr. Patterson is a scientist interested in animal behavior. So she's interested in how animals act. While nursing KoKo back to health, she had another goal as well. Slowly and with great difficulty, she taught the young gorilla to communicate using ASL. So Dr. Patterson is taking care of this sick gorilla, right, and teaching her how to use ASL. Dr. Patterson made up little games for teaching KoKo how to use her hands. She began by working on words for food and drink. She would show KoKo an object, say the word, and make the sign. For example, she would sign the word for drink before giving KoKo a drink. KoKo began to show that she understood Dr. Patterson's gestures after only 2 weeks. Once she made the association between hand movements and the objects they represented, she quickly began to learn words. By 18 months, she knew 22 signs. By 3 years and 3 months, she could make 78 understandable signs. Over a period of 6 years, she learned over 1,000 words. She could even string words together to form simple sentences. So Dr. Patterson, right, would make a hand movement, then give KoKo the object so KoKo knew what she was trying to tell her. And after 6 years, KoKo could even sign full sentences. Dr. Patterson also used picture books to teach KoKo new words. KoKo preferred looking at books with pictures of gorillas and cats. So when Dr. Patterson asked KoKo what she wanted for her birthday, she wasn't surprised when KoKo requested a cat. KoKo was usually a very amiable creature, but when she opened Dr. Patterson's present and saw a stuffed animal, she was furious. She threw it away. Dr. Patterson tried to coax the unhappy gorilla to play with the toy cat. Her attempts failed. KoKo knew the difference between a real cat and a toy one. She shunned the stuffed animal completely. She wanted a real cat. So KoKo was usually very amiable, very kind, and very nice. But when she saw she got a fake cat, she was very angry because she wanted a real cat. A few weeks later, Dr. Patterson gave KoKo a little gray kitten. KoKo picked up the kitten very carefully and caressed it gently. When asked what she was going to call it, she signed Allball. Perhaps she gave it this name because it had no tail. Without a tail, it looked just like a ball of fur. KoKo carried Allball around on her back. The kitten clutched KoKo's fur the way baby gorillas do with their mothers. KoKo loved to play games with Allball. The two became close friends. One day, Allball was hit by a car and died. For days afterward, KoKo moped, miserable over the loss of her friend. KoKo recovered her good spirits when Dr. Patterson gave her another kitten to replace Allball. When KoKo got her new pet, she picked it up and held it lovingly. A blissful look spread over her face. So KoKo had a very close friend with Allball, but unfortunately, that cat had died. So she was very, very sad. But then she started to feel better when she got a new kitten, right? She picked it up and held it very nicely and lovingly. So she was really happy again. With language comes the ability to make jokes and also to lie. KoKo learned to do both. One day she broke the sink in the trailer. When Dr. Patterson asked her who had done it, KoKo signed the name of the person who had been in the trailer with her. So that's a lie, right? KoKo broke the sink, but she said it was someone else. Another time she pointed to a white towel and signed red. She was corrected several times but refused to admit she had made a mistake. Then she shyly picked a tiny piece of lint off the towel. It was red. She was making a joke, right? The towel is red. But it wasn't really red. It was just a little piece of lint on the towel. Gorillas seldom live longer than about 35 years, but in 2015, KoKo had a birthday. She was 44. The present she was given, a pair of kittens. So seldom means not often. So gorillas don't usually live longer than 35 years. But KoKo in 2015 was 44 years old and she was given a pair, two kittens. Thank you for reading with me today. We do have links that are related to each of the stories that we're reading. If you would like the link related to this video, you can find it down in the description below.